Welcome back. You watch Your Morning Live. We're coming to you live from the Titanini village here in Thohoyandou in Limpopo for the Beatification ceremony of Benedict Daswa. A little bit earlier, we spoke to Father Smilo Mngadi, who gave us a sense of just the logistical effort in putting together today the Beatification ceremony, which will be overseen by a representative from the Vatican who is representing Pope Francis. That, of course, is Cardinal Angelo Amato. Hopefully we'll have a chat to him a little bit later. But it is about somebody who came from this part of South Africa, who had strong beliefs and who in many ways died for that belief. Right now I'm joined by the entire Daswa clan, but I'm going to be speaking to his sister Lillian. Lillian, good morning. Thank you very much for joining me here on Morning Live. Just give me a sense of what this day means to you and your family, the entire Daswa family.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. This family is this day is very important to us as a family. We are kind of having mixed emotions. We are excited. We are happy about this. We thank God. We thank everyone for such an honor, for our brother, for our uncle, for our cousin. We appreciate. We are excited. We are happy.
The world is focused on this part of South Africa here in Limpopo for the first time. He was in actual fact born just down the road, 5 kilometers away in 1942. Just in terms of the recognition that the world has shown your family, has shown your brother, how emotional are you?
Very emotional. Tears of joy, of course, taking us back to the day when this happened. It's just mixed emotions. We as a family, some were even crying because of thinking about the day that it happened. Some we have tears of joy because of what is happening, the multitudes out there. It's amazing. It's really amazing. At the family, in entire family, we are honored. We are humbled. We are happy.
Talk to me about that family structure very quickly, because he was a man of principle, very strong and really rooted in his faith. And that is why, and maybe let me bring some other of your family members in here that's willing to talk. Can I maybe bring in another family member here very quickly? Benedict Daswa was a man of principle, strong faith. He was willing to die for his belief. Talk to me about just where that comes from. Describe to me just the Daswa family. Is that how the family operates? Are you a family of principle?
Okay, firstly, I will introduce myself. I'm Alwani Manuel Daswa, a nephew to Benedict Daswa. One thing that I know about Benedict, he was a man of God, and he was a family man. He even played tennis with us. And when it comes to gardening, farming, and altars and everything, he did everything with us, which means he was able to teach us everything, which means to believe in God, to work hard. That's what I can say. And he was a man of his own faith. For me, I take him as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who believe that they won't bow down to any idols or anything. With him, he said with his money, he won't bow down to any sangoma, paying someone to tell us whether the lightning comes from somebody but he believed that it's a natural thing that happened. So that's what I can say. In his faith, he stands despite 100 people, 1,000 people were saying it comes from someone, it's come from Magogo, it's come from water. But he believed that it's a natural thing that God has created.
Let me just quickly ask you, the fateful day, the 2nd of February, 1990, when his life was brutally taken. Take me back to that moment from a family perspective.
By that moment, I was still young, but I remember that everyone was being hurt with the situation, especially my grandmother, because she was unable to deal with the situation because it was so hectic in such a way that we were unable to contain it the way it is. So with this day, we feel so relieved with the kind of recognition that we managed to get, not only from South Africa, but around all the world.
Let me just bring in Benedict Daswa's daughter. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm good, and you?
I just want to find out from you, and I've asked, I think, Lillian a little bit earlier, what does this mean? Your father has been recognized, he's beatified today, recognized by the world, nearly 35,000 people here in honor of your dad. How does that feel?
I think what I've come to realize is when a person is born for a purpose and die for a purpose, I think his purpose is today we are here because of that. So whatever happened to him, it doesn't matter anymore, but for a big cause. That's why his life was taken that day in 1990.
Take me through, just from a family perspective, how you're coping now, because you've known for a while that he was going to be beatified, but the process has taken very long.
We're trying to cope. I must say it's not easy for your father to be taken away from you at an early age. Most of our siblings were very young at that age when he passed away. For me, myself, I was not even born because I was born 4 months after he died. But we try to cope, and we try to look up to what his beliefs and the life that he wanted everybody, every Christian, I must say, to live. So for us, we try to cope.
What were you told about your father? You were born 4 months after his passing. What were some of the things that your mom and your siblings tried to pass on to you that you missed?
He was a great man. Every day of my life, I knew my father as a great man. The work that he has done, not only for his children, but for other children as well. As a school principal, I mean, he will buy uniform for other children who are less fortunate. He will do things for the youth, for other children, not only his children. But for me, what I've heard mostly is he was a great man of God.
So the body was exhumed and reburied at the church. There's talks of a shrine that will be going up in the very venue we're standing now. But there's also talks about potentially a statue going up in your father's name back in Johannesburg. How's the family feeling at the moment? What has been the conversation leading up to today?
For us, it was very scary at the beginning because, I mean, for somebody to be taken out of the grave or to be exhumed, it's a first thing for the family. But for me, personally, it was a huge experience because I get to touch his remains and see the man that is my father, and to get close to him at the graveyard that day of the exhumption. It was very emotional, and it for the family, I think even my uncle, he was saying, I mean, we used to the grave, a person being buried and the coffin going down, not to be exhumed, but for him to be having this huge recognition, and for him to at this place Chitanini, where the shrine is going to be and wherever. But I think it's a great honor for us. I'm proud of my father, even though I've never met him. And I mean, for everybody, it's a privilege to have such person coming from this place.
Okay, I see it's your big sister behind you. Can I just bring you to come and maybe share your thoughts for us very quickly? Just talk to me about your father's legacy. I think, as your younger sister was saying, that she was born 4 months after his passing, and I think maybe in many ways it was up to the older siblings to share his life and history with her. What is the legacy that you have discussed about your father?
His legacy is big, as you can see. The crowd of people is packed. But I believe his legacy is a challenge for us, his kids, as we live this life, that we must follow in his footsteps. He left a legacy that is big, it's big shoes to fill, but by the grace of God, I think we're going to be able to fill the shoes.
I've asked this question, I've asked it of Lillian, I've asked it of your younger sister, and I'm sure this conversation has come up. How emotional are you today? Because it's not only a part of South Africa that's recognizing the work your father did, it's the world that's recognizing the work your father did in a very short space of time.
The emotions, they're like his name, the vendor named Chimangat. It's a wonderful, it's a surprise. Every morning when you wake up, you just feel like you can't believe it. As we're driving down past here, we're looking down here. It's like the whole world is standing still here, standing a small village in Thohoyandou, just outside Thohoyandou. It's very huge. And the emotions attached to it, it's for the world. If you can see people around here, people are celebrating his life. For us as his these kids. It starts from as this process was unfolding, there were emotions which were very sensitive there. All wounds were open, especially when the day of his exhibition. It's like we were going back to where we were trying to heal from. But as we celebrate, as we gather here today, and we see all these people who are gathered celebrating his life, it gives us courage. It gives us comfort that at least we are not alone in this, and then now we can start celebrating. Because I think for the past 25 years, me personally, my siblings, you always ask yourself, why is my daddy not here? You understand why I don't have my dad? My dad is not taking me to school. My mom is alone. She's raising us alone. We were 8. It was very difficult for her, but she was a strong woman. You understand? But today, I think it's the day for us. We start celebrating his life because we cannot go backwards. We only look forward because the future is bright.
We're going to leave it there, but thank you very much for joining me. That's the family of Benedict Daswa, brimming with pride about what is a history-making moment in South Africa. The very first South African to be beatified. The beatification ceremony will officially start here at 10 o'clock. We are in Limpopo in Thohoyandou. As I started earlier, I said only 20,000 people initially expected, but that number is now far surpassing what could be close to 40,000 people. A little bit earlier, as we mentioned to you, that there is a backlog in traffic that goes back to almost 7 kilometers coming into the venue of choice. Now, a little bit earlier, we had the youth diocese of Tanin. They did our musical performance. Let's go to our second musical performance here this morning. There's so much more to come from us. We'll have a chat to the Premier Stampa Tibata a little bit later, and we'll talk about all of this. But for now, it's time for our musical performance.